Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today I'm excited to show you a really sweet collection of pattern papers and embossed die cuts from our friends at Paper Rose. The collection is called Meadowbrook Farm, and I think you're really going to like it. So let's take a closer look, and we can start with our paper pack. So here you have a 6x6 collection containing 18 double-sided pattern papers. You will have 3 each of 12 different designs. And I really love the design style of Paper Rose, and especially in this collection, I think the artwork is just beautiful. So you can see you've got some really nice all-over patterns, some backgrounds. You've also got several sheets with cutout elements on them too. So those are perfect for the front or the inside of your card. So this is our paper pack. Now to go along, we also have 2 coordinating sets of embossed die cuts. So we have the Meadowbrook Farm collection and we have the Meadowbrook Farm Basics. Now these can be used individually. They also work together perfectly. So you can use everything in today's collection together. Let's take a closer look at the Basics set here, and you can see these beautiful elements perfect for simply popping out. They are die cut, so you can use them on the front of your card, pop them up with some foam tape, or use them on the inside of your card just flat if you like to. So that is the Basics collection, and then for our Meadowbrook Farm collection, as you can see, you've got a similar set. You've got 4 sheets in each of these collections. They measure 6 by 8 inches. And I really like how you get a variety of elements in terms of size. So some larger as well as some smaller accent pieces in here too. So we've got a lot of really fun things to play with. And of course, it's wonderful when everything is perfectly coordinated. It makes it really easy to create cards and other paper crafts. So we have a lot of lovely papers and embellishments to play with today. I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm so excited to explore the creative possibilities with you. So come play with us. Let's start with this fun cutaway style card, which features the pattern papers plus some of the embossed die cuts from the Meadowbrook Farm Basic set. So here I first trimmed off 1 inch from the front panel of my card. Now the cards that I'm using here are the ones that I use for pretty much all of my webisode projects. They measure 5 by 6.5 inches and they come from Paper Wishes. Now because the pattern papers in today's collection measure 6 by 6, this is going to give me a little bit of extra space top and bottom on the card front. Now for my card inside, I've covered up a gap between 2 portions of the same patterned paper. So it gives me the look of having totally covered the inside back here. So after I've trimmed off that 1 inch, I've covered the front of my card with this brown cardstock. Now this comes from the Strawberry Delights cardstock set from Paper Wishes. I'm using the brown and I'm using the white, and I'm also using the red here. And these colors all just went really nicely with the pattern papers in today's collection. So I've also trimmed down this beautiful patterned background paper, slightly smaller than 6 inches. You can see here it's about 5 3/4 inches tall. Matted that onto white cardstock and then onto red and glued that to the front of the card. Then for the focal, I've cut a block of the cutout sheet. So it's a cutout sheet that you could use each of the individual panels either singly or in groupings, and I've just trimmed out a block from there, and that's going to give me the color and the kind of background pattern. You can't really see the design that's going on behind there, but that's okay. It's coordinating and creating a really nice kind of landing place for the rest of my focal images here. So I've got this matted onto white cardstock and simply glued in the center. My ephemera pieces are popped up mostly on foam tape. Here's one layer, here's one layer. This is glued straight down right on top of our background piece, but underneath here I've got a bit of foam tape so that this will stay level and even. Got another piece glued back behind here, just simply glued right down onto the front of the card. And then I've got a script dazzle word down here and a bow tied in gingham ribbon. So the black and white ribbon I think is just perfect with this set of papers in terms of color and theme as well. And this comes from a pack that I love, the gingham ribbon set. This is a classic for me. You get 12 different colors in here. So you've got everything from yellow and white, lime and white, of course the black and the white, and you've got 36 inches of each one. So this is a standard favorite for me. And I have a lot of these bows that I just like to tie, trim up, and then glue as accents. It gives a nice bit of texture and softness to a card. Because of the cutaway card format, of course, a portion of my card inside is showing. So I have this all over pattern paper with a border going across the center. Now again, with the 6x6 papers, all I need to do is cut this sheet in half, glue a piece flush with the top and the other piece even with the bottom, and then cover the gap in between with a strip of red cardstock matted onto brown. And then I've added the Dazzle sentiment to go along. Our second card has a really sweet embossed focal with this beautiful front porch scene. I'm going to tilt the card a little bit here so that you can see the embossing that's on this embellishment. Now this is something that's really special and unique to Paper Rose. So all of the embellishments in today's two collections will have this raised, clear, glossy kind of highlighting on all of the embellishments. I think it adds a nice subtle effect, some shine and some texture and dimension on here that doesn't take away from the really beautiful illustration on this ephemera piece. So I've placed the embossed die cut onto a white cardstock rectangle, which is die cut and matted with other pieces using one of my all-time favorite cutting die set. You've seen it before. It's the 12 rectangle and scalloped dies. And I like the combination of the scalloped edge here, especially with that gingham. I think it makes a really sweet combination. So my gingham cardstock is matted top and bottom with white cardstock and then placed onto my card front. And my card front is covered with the navy cardstock, which comes from the Ethereal Bouquets cardstock set. Now I've also got some additional embellishments here. So the leaves and the flowers are die cut with another set. This is a new to me collection. It's the watercolor wildflowers. And I have to say, I love a flower die set. And this one is just great for so many different card themes. You can see the shapes that you've got up here, a variety of flower shapes. You've also got two of the botanicals, which I've used on my card front. And you've also got a couple of little butterfly images here as well. And of course, hot off the press, they're always going to provide a project idea on here for you, as well as a little bit more temptation, at least for me, down here at the bottom with some other die options that you might want to add to your wish list. So here I've die cut each of the leaf elements using green cardstock. And this is also from the Ethereal Bouquets cardstock collection. And then I've also die cut the two sizes of daisy. And I popped the layers with foam tape, so I've got some dimension on here. Now the green is coordinating with the green in our image here. And then I decided to go with white for my flowers, just so that they wouldn't detract from any of the other colors or images in here, but would provide a nice kind of anchor point down at the bottom corner. And then I've also got a little butterfly here backed with a kind of a blue lavender cardstock. Finally, I've got the word thanks. This is a Dazzle. It's from the Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle set, and it just fits perfectly right down there at the bottom. Now, this piece is popped up with foam tape. So are my flower images. The leaves are glued straight down. This entire piece is popped up on foam tape, and that along with the flowers and the embossed die cut focal adds some nice dimension. Then for my card inside, I have another die cut rectangle, this time positioned horizontally, with another sweet scene on here and more die cut flowers and another portion of a message from the Tiny Words Dazzle set. This card has a 3-part opening layout, which is a really fun design to make and to decorate, and I think pretty fun to receive as well. It's also super simple to do using a die set, and I'm working with, of course, the fancy foldovers dies from Paper Wishes. Now I'm using just one of the 3 shapes included in this set. I've got the narrow foldover for today's project, but you can see here you've got a large foldover, also the narrow, and then the scalloped. So 3 different possibilities with lots of different combinations. Here on the front, you've got a card project that gives you an idea. There's another look at that same card project on the back of the storage folder. Then you have some written instructions here, as well as your folding and assembly diagrams. So where you see the red on the folding diagrams, this is where we recommend that you use an extra sticky tape. And that's especially important for holding pieces together, especially any kind of pop-ups or flaps or anything that's going to have some movement to it. Really suggest that extra sticky tape to hold everything together. Now this is a super simple technique to do and a lot of fun. So let me show you with the dies that we have in this set. Here are the 2 foldovers. Now you'll notice here each one of these has this line on here. This is going to be a score line. You've got one here, you've got one here. And as you can see, when I die cut a piece like this, you'll have this score line there. I suggest you take your bone folder and really score that up, and this will create kind of a hook to go onto your card. So here's the smaller one, and here is the larger one. Again, you'll fold that up, score it really nicely, and you are ready to go. So from here, what you can do is take either one of those, depending on the orientation of your card, if it's vertical or horizontal, and simply hook it right on there. Now again, I'm using 5 by 6.5 inch cards, so these are going to fit perfectly. So that's going along the side. The smaller one I can use on my card front. So I'm just hooking that onto just the front panel, and that will get secured onto the back if I want it to open like so. Now, what about that 3rd die that's included in here? You might be wondering. You'll notice this one does not have this score mark on there, and that's because what you can do here is simply take your card. Let me get my black piece of cardstock here so you can see this better. You can simply position this on here, run this through your die cutting machine, open the card first though, so you only go through the top layer, and that will give you the effect that you can see here on the card on the front of the package. So that will cut just that front flap. It won't cut anything up at the top or on the side. So those will be already flush with the sides and the top of your card. Okay, so let's take a closer look back at the card original here. Now the process here is to first cover the front of your card. I've got a large portion of the lemons paper glued on here. I've also got strips of light and dark blue-green cardstock here at the top and then also down at the bottom. Then my foldover is cut from the striped pattern paper. So remember, the sheets in today's collection are double-sided. So whatever you have on the reverse will show unless you mat it onto another cardstock color. So for me, this would be this pattern paper, which is beautiful, but didn't really go with my lemons quite so well. So I've die cut 2 pieces, the striped paper and then also a solid green, matted the 2 together and then glued them together as my fold over. And then I've also got here on the reverse side, I've got a strip of that green striped paper matted onto a solid, And I've added the Best Wishes Dazzle from the Script Dazzle set. Then also here on the fold over, I've got 2 images from the embossed die cut set, and I positioned them so I still had room at the bottom for a second piece of striped paper. So this fold over shape is matted and simply glued to the card front. Although I could have designed the card so that this would open as well if I wanted to. So that's another option for you. Then down here, there's another lemon ephemera piece, the Celebrate Script Dazzle, along with a little heart that is on the Dazzles set. You've got lots of these little extra accent pieces on there, and I love to use those too. Of course, I've got another gingham bow here just to accent this and to coordinate with the black of the Dazzle. And again, if I'm tilting this, you can see the shine on those ephemera pieces. Really pretty. Then for the inside of the card, well, I've covered the inside front panel with this light blue-green cardstock, and this covers the fold-over flap. So if you're concerned about that, you can simply cover that up by lining the inside front of your card. And then I've added another embossed image down here and the Hooray Dazzle. On the other side, I've got a strip of the lemon pattern paper matted onto cardstock with the lemon tag from the paper pack and a butterfly image from the Meadowbrook Basic set. Our final project is a pull-up style of card, which will open like so, and you'll be able to pull up a message that will then slide back into the shaped card. This is a design that is a lot of fun to make and also really easy to do using the pull-up cutting dies set. So here you have 2 metal pieces. You've got your card base, and then you've got your pull-up mechanism, of course, your project idea on the front, and then also a second look at that on the back, along with your written instructions and your folding and assembly diagrams. Again, you'll notice the red on here, just where we think using that extra sticky tape, it would be a good idea. So let's have a look at how to put this together. And I've die cut my 2 pieces. This is the card base, and then this is the pull-up mechanism. Now the black on here is just to indicate where those fold lines are so that you can see that better. So you can see here with the fold-up piece, you'll simply fold that over. I do recommend using your bone folder for this, and then you can set that part aside. Now with the card base, of course, same process will go. You'll simply follow those lines to fold up the bottom and then fold down the top. Now before you glue this bottom portion up, I really recommend adding your pull-up mechanism in here first. And what you'll do is align the bottom of the pull-up mechanism with the fold over line on the top flap. So like this. Secure that in place. Make sure that it is perfectly centered, because this portion gets glued up like so, and you don't want to accidentally have this kind of position one way, too much one way or the other. So once you have that all glued together, then you can get ready to decorate it. And this is really the fun part of it. So my card base is cut from navy cardstock from the Ethereal Bouquets cardstock set. And I've added the gingham paper to the bottom, and then I've also die cut just the top portion, just that scalloped top portion from the cherries pattern paper, and glued that on top, and then trimmed the edges even, just trim that top portion even. I'm mixing and matching my embossed die cuts from both packages for this project. So I've got the sentiment up here, and then I've got these really sweet images creating a nice collage down at the bottom. This is popped up with some foam tape, as is this top portion here, again for a little bit of dimension. I have another gingham bow, as you can see, as well as another heart from my Script Dazzle set. When I open this, you can see on the pull-up portion that you've got another Script Dazzle message. I have another little cherries ephemera piece on there. And then when this closes, it just tucks right back inside that card. So this is a lot of fun, and I think a really great way to mix and match some of your pattern papers and to add in those embellishments. It's just a lot of fun to do. And that is our final project of the day today. So a big thank you to our friends at Paper Rose for a really gorgeous collection that has been so much fun to work with. And a special thanks to you for joining me today. We're really glad you're here and we're happy you're a part of our Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.